Joynews Today. Now, we'll start off with Education. The University Teachers Association of Ghana have threatened a strike by April 15 if government fails to release research and book allowances to its members. Government in February inaugurated a committee to deliberate on the process of setting up structures to strengthen the operations of the Book and Research Fund for lecturers. Government scrapped the Book and Research allowance and replaced it with a Research and Innovation Facility worth $5 million set aside for the purpose. The Polytechnic Teachers Association of Ghana and the University Teachers Association of Ghana have voiced concerns after government scrapped the Book and Research allowance. Eric Curtis Howard joined UTAG at their press conference. He's joined us over the telephone with some update. Hello, Eric.
Hello, good afternoon, Kevin.
What have you gathered?
Yes, according to the UTAG members, the National Research Fund, which government intends to propose in place of their research and book allowance, will not assist lecturers in any way. According to them, they are of the opinion that the book and research allowance should go hand in hand with the National Research Fund. They say they are not against the research fund, but they should work together hand in hand so that lecturers can easily access they can get money all the time to undertake their research. According to them, the research that they undertake at the university is tied with their promotions. So as in whether they will be promoted or not. And it's also tied with the conditions of service. So if the government is taking away the research allowance and replacing with the research fund, they are wondering how that can be possible, because according to them, before they can access the fund, which means that they will have to apply, go through a process, and it may take time. And for them, the research that they conduct at the university is ongoing. It is something that they do every day. So it's not like a research where once in a year they just go and do the research. No, that was their point, that government needs to take a real look at the whole situation. And they said that there have been several platforms where they engage the Ministry of Education, government, to find a lasting solution to the problem. But government seems to be adamant to their concerns. So in that case, they say that they are withdrawing their services. If by April 15, government does not meet them to find a lasting solution to the problem. Those are some of the concerns that they raise. And they said that the existing book and research allowances guarantee minimum. They say even the money is not even enough for them. The current money that they are having for their research allowance is not even enough. So the government is trying to take it away and replace it with a research fund. It's going to pose a great challenge.
Right. Thank you very much, Eric, for that update. Let's move up north now. The Northern Region Police Command has arrested 14 suspects, including 2 assembly members, in connection with recent violence in the East Mamprasi district, which claimed 4 lives. Several others were injured in the clash between the Mamprasis and Kokombas on one side and the Bimobas on the other.
The 2 assembly members named among the 14 suspects are said to have instigated the youth of the area to engage in the violent exchanges which started last Thursday after a man believed to be a Bimoba was shot dead by Tambosas at Bimbamong. The Bimobas following the death are said to have attacked the Tambosas, who then retaliated. The violence, which lasted 3 days, spread to neighboring communities such as Bongni and Sakogu, drawing in the Mamprosis and Konkombas. Many houses in Bongni, Sakogu and Bimbamong were set ablaze, causing the inhabitants to flee. The 14 suspects were arrested in a police operation to restore calm. A number of weapons, including 3 AK-47 rifles, 3 locally manufactured shotguns, 1 G3 rifle, 1 pistol and over 70 rounds of ammunition were retrieved. Police Public Relations Officer ASP Ebenezer Tete said 7 out of the 14 suspects have been arraigned before court on charges of murder, conspiracy to commit crime with murder, causing harm and possessing firearms without lawful authority.
7 out of the 14 have been arraigned before Tamale courts, district magistrate courts, and we hope that they will be remanded to reappear subsequently in courts. The charges that we preferred against them are conspiracy to commit crime with murder, causing harm, and possessing firearms without lawful authority. 4 persons have also been confirmed dead. The number of injuries have increased to 4, but I must say that 3 of them have been treated and discharged. 1 is still on admission. Police reinforcement is still on the ground, and we are firmly in control of the situation as we speak now. We hope that with the presence of the police on the ground and the military, any further violent act by anybody is going to be quelled quickly or nipped in the bud.
Meanwhile, in a separate development related to the violence in the region, a Tamale District Magistrate Court, presided over by Anthony Assar, has remanded a 32-year-old unemployed Alhassan Alidu, also known as Bullet, into prison custody to reappear on April 21, 2014 for his alleged role in the murder of Mustafa Abdul Rashid, who was lynched at Abu Abu Timber Market last month. Alhassan Alidu was arrested last night by the police in collaboration with the public in the Abu Abu forest. This brings to 4 the number of suspects remanded into prison custody in connection with the Tamale violent incident last month, which claimed 2 lives.
Let's stay in the area and speak to ASP Ebenezer Teta, his Northern Regional Police PRO. Hello, ASP.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us here on News Today. But give us a quick update on the security situation in East Mamprusi.
As we speak now, the police is calm. The military and the police who arrive on the ground have managed professionally to handle the situation, and they stabilize the place, and everything is very calm as we speak now. But we are not taking it for granted. So what we have to do to show our presence there, we are continuing now. I mean, in terms of patrolling and letting the police be visible and the military also be visible on the ground. We are doing it now. So the police is calm as we speak.
Right. Now, from the reports we gathered, some people fled their homes for fear of their lives. What would you say about those people now?
It is true some people fled, and as we speak now, we have not had any report of people coming back yet, but for reasons best known to them, they are waiting to see what is going to happen there. So as we speak now, we've not had any report of people coming back, but I can tell you that we will do everything within our means to ensure that it will make it possible for them to come back if they want.
You made some arrests. 14 persons were arrested in connection to the violence. What happened with them?
7 were arraigned before court yesterday. They were charged with various offenses. For instance, those who were caught possessing firearms were charged with possessing firearms without lawful authority. We managed to retrieve about 8 weapons, 3 AK-47 rifles, 3 locally made shotguns, 1 G3, and 1 pistol. In addition to that, we also retrieved over 70 rounds of ammunition, both AK-47 ammunition and G3 ammunition. So we charged them based on what we saw them possessing. In addition to that, some were also arrested for, they were charged for murder and then also conspiracy to commit crime to murder, whilst others also had a charge of causing damage. So all these 7 were arraigned before the Tamale court yesterday, and they have been remanded to reappear until the 2nd of this month. The other 7 are still in our custody, and we are working on them. The latest information I have is that some of them have been whisked quickly to Accra, whilst others are still in our custody. And so investigations are ongoing, and we hope that the things that we have in our hands, we will quickly work on them, and then the next date for them to appear before court, we will be able to reduce very good evidence against them to have them.
Very well. But ASP, why are you still keeping in custody those you haven't arraigned before court?
If you are arrested within 48 hours, you must send it to court. Those who are still in custody, they've not exhausted their period of 48 hours. The other 7 were just brought in yesterday, so they have today until today for decision to be taken on them. So we have not concluded investigations yet. That is why they are still in custody. Those that we have concluded investigations on are those that we are simply arraigned before court.
Yet you have transferred some of them to Accra.
Exactly.
Why would you want to do that? I mean, we don't want a situation whereby these people will now become victims of the whole event. Why would you want to transfer them to Accra when you haven't even completed a charge against them?
Accra will take over that. They will take over the investigation.
I see. We'll leave it here for now, dear ASP. ASP Ebenezer Tete is Northern Regional Police PR. I'll move on to something else. And after months of investigating the corporations of the Savannah Accelerated Development Authority, Joynews has uncovered more facts bordering on financial malfeasance. SADA was originally, I'm sure you know, created to coordinate development to bridge the development gap between the north and the south of the country. But its operations have been bedeviled by alleged corruption, improper award of contracts, among others. And the first of our investigative series, Manasseh Asori-Awone, reports on how SADA invested 74 million Ghana cedis at the bank where its chairman is managing director, which monies it is unable to account for.
According to a budget monitoring report submitted to Parliament for the 2012 financial year, SADA earmarked over 23 million Ghana cedis as its investment for that year. The authority, however, ended up investing over 74 million Ghana cedis, that is over 51 million Ghana cedis more. The budget monitoring statement does not provide details of the investment, but a recent audit report Joynews intercepted in the course of this investigation reveals that the amount was invested in a call account at the Movenpick branch of the Stanbic Bank here in Accra. According to the report, management of SADA could not produce the investment certificate as evidence of the deposit made. Management also failed to disclose the interest that had accrued on the investment. The audit report says there is the risk that the investment could be lost to SADA in any eventuality. Another anomaly which the audit report found with the 74.5 million Ghana cedis investment is the type of investment made. The report indicates that SADA could have invested the money in high-yielding accounts, such as fixed deposits. Though they will not speak on record until they've seen details of the account, they have indicated that the call account could only be justified if SADA management negotiated a high interest rate. Management of SADA has refused to comment on the transaction. Joynews also contacted the board chairman of SADA and managing director of Stanbic Bank, Al-Hassan Andane, in whose bank the investment was made. He confirmed that SADA had an account with the Stanbic Bank, but he declined to provide the interest rate and other details of the investment. I account to the president and not to you, Manasseh and Joy FM, he said. Joy FM, myjoyonline.com and Joy News on Multi TV will be bringing you more on our investigative series on SADA. Manasseh Asori-Awone for Joy News.
Absolutely. We'll bring you more on that in subsequent broadcasts. Let's move on to the Bono-Ahafo region now. And rural dwellers in the Doma municipality of the region have attributed their apathy to paying taxes to the failure of the municipal assembly to account for the revenue it collects. They argue they cannot continue paying taxes if authorities refuse to use the money to develop their communities. The issue came up at the Tax Education Forum for the chiefs and people of Masu, Kuring and Asikasu in the Doma municipality.
The forum was organized by Gift FM, a local radio station at Doma Hinko, in collaboration with Global Media Foundation, an anti-corruption media non-governmental organization, and sponsored by Star Ghana. They noted with concern that many traders and other taxpayers in the informal sector refuse to pay tax not because they do not want to pay, but because they do not see what their monies are used for as far as development is concerned. The community members stressed that when their municipal assembly begins to utilize the internally generated fund wisely for the benefit of the local communities, they would feel less reluctant to pay. The Doma Municipal Assembly is, however, challenging the claim. Its budget analyst says, contrary to the claim, the assembly always gives out expenditure documents through the various assembly members to the communities.
At times, if people are trying to avoid tax, they give all sorts of excuses. But the truth is that after we finish with the assembly members, we give it out. And most of the time, they also call their people to explain to them what we have done at the assembly. But they don't take interest in taking the documents because, most of them cannot also read and write. So they don't see why they should chase for those documents. But really, we give it out.
The Chief Executive Officer of Global Media Foundation, Raphael Ahenu, in an interview challenged municipal and district assemblies to use internally generated funds judiciously and remain accountable to the communities.
Most people are not willing to pay tax simply because they don't know how the tax are used, especially when you go to the district assemblies. They're supposed to report to the people annually. After the annual report, they should organize community forum, explain to the people that at the end of the year, these are the amount of money. It's from Common Fund, this from IGF, this from Urban Grant. And these are the projects we have used this money for. But at the end of the day, they are not doing that. So people always feel reluctant to pay their taxes. So at the end of the day, we are trying to make sure that the district assembly will be more accountable by going to the people, explaining to them how the money they are getting are being utilized. So at the end of the day, it will encourage the people to pay their tax.
The CEO stressed that it is only through this action that the people will see the need to pay their taxes. Nesta Kafia Juma's report for Joy News.
Say on News Today. Now, President John Dramani Mahama is in the Colombian city of Medellin, where he is attending the 7th session of the World Urban Forum as a special guest speaker and guest of honor. The UN-sponsored forum is to explore issues bordering on rapid urbanization across the world. At an earlier lecture at the London School of Economics last week, the president told the students of the impending launch of a Made in Ghana campaign to help local firms manufacture goods that are currently imported.
The forum is under the theme Urban Equity in Development, Cities for Life. It is organized by United Nations Habitat and hosted by the Colombian government. The forum is aimed at thoroughly discussing the bane of urbanization and how it can be turned around for good. President Mahama jointly opened the ceremony with his Colombian counterpart, President Juan Manuel Santos, on Monday, 7th April. President John Mahama is said to have addressed the forum on the challenges of rapidly growing cities and how to prepare for the rapid urbanization of the African continent in particular. At the 68th session of the United Nations General Assembly, President Mahama, on behalf of UN Habitat, led fruitful discussions and debate on Africa's rapid urbanization at a side meeting with other African leaders. Earlier last week, the president reiterated his government's intention to embark on an entrepreneurial drive to create more jobs. He told students and staff at the London School of Economics that Ghana is in the midst of launching a Made in Ghana campaign that will turn the private sector into manufacturing many of the goods that the country is currently importing, but which could readily be made in the country. The establishment of the new Made in Ghana industries, he says, is expected to create jobs to feed the economy. President Mahama also encouraged the students, especially those of African descent, to keep hope alive and work hard towards a better continent, urging them to take advantage of the wealth of potential in the continent, particularly in the area of entrepreneurship.
This is News Today. Thank you very much for staying on News Today. We'll move on to some other stories from business. Civil society group Third World Network insists the Ghanaian economy is headed for doom if it signs onto the economic partnership agreement with the European Union. The group wants government to thoroughly examine the impact of the agreement on the local economy. It is also calling for a national consultative meeting to take a decision at the local level before meeting the regional body ECOWAS to take a final decision on the agreement.
Minister in charge of Public-Private Partnerships, Rashid Pelpo, recently announced Ghana's readiness to sign the EPA to continue enjoying the budgetary support from the European Union. But the Third World Network says government is sending out conflicting signals on its decision on the EPA, a position they describe as unfortunate.
The Trade Minister is saying that we need to hold a national consultation because of the importance of the treaty, the trade treaty. That's one aspect. Then you have the Minister for Public-Private Partnership, Honorable Rashid Pelpour, also saying that Ghana is ready to sign the EPA. I mean, it sends a very, very bad signal about the government, and it's unfortunate. I think it's important to look at even the international trade taxes that we get. We get from imports, which is about 16% of total revenue plus grants. And then if you look at the total grants, it's about 5.6% of total revenue. And so even on that narrow score, you are going to forgo about 16% of your revenue for something about 5.6% of your revenue. I think it doesn't make any economic sense.
The network also maintains the demerits of the agreement outweigh the benefits.
The revenue you're going to lose is 3 times the duty that you're going to pay. And so it makes rational sense just compensate the exporters and ask them to diversify their export destinations. The worst form of the agreement is what they call the rendezvous clause. What does that mean? Rendezvous means that we are going to commit in negotiating government procurement, investment, services. Government procurement, in a sense, that is how we're going to spend our budget. And so if they take your taxes, they take my tax, they take our taxes in Ghana, and they want to award a contract to a company, they must not discriminate between a Ghanaian company and a European company. And so as a country, do you want to set up and open up all your contracts and the European multinationals who have been supported and they are backed by their home governments to take all the contracts and allow your local companies to collapse? I mean, that is the wrong way of development.
According to Sylvester Bagoro, by virtue of Nigeria's new position as Africa's biggest economy, it could influence ECOWAS's decision on the EPA, but it will still need the support of member states, including Ghana.
Nigeria's economy can match the rest of the, so Nigeria is a heavyweight. Then the other point you should not lose focus is in terms of value-added products, we export to the region. It's not to Europe. What kind of manufactured product do we export to Europe? Apart from our raw material that we export, our banana and all that. And that one, there's a solution to it. If a government will take the leadership and make sure they push for it, there's a solution to it. And so, in terms of the analysis, whether revenue, whether policy space, whether GDP, and all the effects are negative. So government has no basis to sign on to the EPA unless it's a political decision.
Nigeria has meanwhile rejected the EPA at the local level, but is yet to announce her decision at the regional level. Abigail Adumakwenchi, Joynews, Accra.
Now, the World Bank is projecting Africa's growth to reach 5.2% in 2014, with strong investment growth and household spending. It says economic growth in sub-Saharan African countries to rise from 4.7% in 2013 to a projected 5.2% in 2014. The projection is due largely to the rise in investment in natural resources and infrastructure, as well as strong household spending. Now, some economies like Ghana and Malawi have seen an uptick in inflation because of depreciating local currencies and locally volatile food prices within sub-Saharan Africa, as well as strong local price pressures have emerged in a number of countries, driven in part by large currency depreciations as in Ghana and Zambia, and also by unfavorable weather conditions. Remittances to the region grew 6.2% to $32 billion in 2013, exceeding the record of $30 billion reached in 2011. These inflows, combined with lower food prices, boosted household real incomes and spending. Samsung Electronics, the world's biggest maker of TVs and mobile phones, has forecast a drop in profits for the second quarter in a row. It expects to make an operating profit of 8.4 trillion won, about $7.9 billion, for the January to March quarter, and down 4% from the same period last year. This follows a 6% decline in operating profits in the previous quarter. The drop indicates the challenge faced by Samsung to boost its earnings and falling prices of smartphones. Young Park, an analyst with Hyundai Securities, said that Samsung's profits were being hurt by falling margins for smartphones, as well as a slowdown in the growth rate of the sector. That's it for business, but Baba Tando brings us sports after this.
Good afternoon, my name is Baba Tando. Thanks to Cowbell, I have the latest in the world of sports. Now, Palmer midfielder Efriye Akwa says his senior colleague Michael Essien has played a huge role in his development. Efriye Akwa has given credit to Essien for the significant role he has played in making him a better player. The 22-year-old has had a good campaign with Palmer in the Serie A, prompting many to clamor for his inclusion in the Ghana squad for the 2014 World Cup. The former Palermo player said Milan signing Essien has been an inspiration to him. Now let's come down to the local scene where First Capital Plus Bank, headline sponsors of the Ghana Premier League, has presented a set of drums to each of the 16 Premier League clubs to help boost supporting in the league. Now this initiative by the prestigious bank is in fulfillment of their promise to uplift the local game by promoting a competitive atmosphere at various league centers. Chairman of the Ghana Premier League Board, Welbeck Yabrapia, who received the drums on behalf of the clubs, said this will make the game more interesting.
We have our sponsors providing the 16 Premier League clubs with something to play about, with something to motivate the clubs, with something to make football interesting, and with something to draw the crowd to the stadium. This presentation will go a long way for even those who will be relegated, so that when they get to that level and they start using them, then the competitors who will be within that group, that is the first division, will realize that they are seniors who have come from afar. So don't worry. Even if you go to relegation, you go with it.
Let's go to Nigeria now, where Bruce Sports' Tai Taiwo admits he is pessimistic over his chances of making Nigeria's World Cup squad this summer. Now he has been pushing for a recall with 34 appearances for the Turkish side in all competitions so far this season. Current Super Eagles left back Edelson Echiejile has played just 16 times and only 4 times since moving to Monaco on loan in January. He told BBC Sports he played at the last World Cup, but this one will be very difficult to be a part of. Despite not having made his league debut for Monaco at the time, Echiejile was preferred to Tai Taiwo's for the Super Eagles' most recent friendly against Mexico on 5th of March. Nigeria coach Stephen Keshi is expected to announce his provisional squad for the World Cup next week, and fans and the media have been pushing for Tai to be recalled. The 28-year-old does not think his name will be on the list. It's a wrap for Sports on News Today, brought to you by the kind courtesy of Cowbell. My name is Baba Tando. Good afternoon.
You're watching News Today. Let's get into some arts and entertainment now. And making it into the limelight as a musician is one thing many budding artists work hard towards all year round. And when an established artist offers a platform to such a budding one, you can be sure they will go all out to prove a point. I want to take some time off and do some music myself. Maybe you should write me a song. Let's move on. Rapper Kanye West is said to be reportedly begging people to invite his fiancée, Kim Kardashian, to the same Hollywood elite events that he's been invited to, but she keeps getting refused. Our major stories on News Today. University Teachers Association of Ghana threatened to strike by April 15 if government fails to release research and book allowance to its members. Find more news on myjoyonline.com. Thank you very much for staying through the hour on News Today. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amana. Goodbye.